and welcome to I Hate Cacophonous Clamor. My name is Levi Thomas. I hate ASMR games. Have you ever noticed that when people whisper to you, it's always something very exclusive and important? Well, I'm taking a different route with my channel.
And that route is actually just posting videos for once. Welcome back. I just recently graduated from my schooling, so I thought I would celebrate with a deck that I've been working on for a little while. And in all my scouring around and playing things like Hushwing Griff and Deafening Silence, I realized that the real key in this situation, when you have a deck that is just overwhelmingly powerful and utilizes some broken cards to just achieve things that shouldn't be possible in the format, if you can't beat them, join them. So that brings us to our deck today, which is Possibility Storm for Pioneer. I've been working on this deck list for a little while. It has a lot of kind of moving parts and reasonings behind a lot of the card choices, so I'll try and explain the best I can. But it is essentially a Thassa's Oracle combo deck that revolves around getting a Possibility Storm on the field and then casting a Sorcery Adventure, of which we have a few in the deck, but the main ones are Rosethorn Acolyte and Lovestruck Beast, which because they're 1 mana. The way that the combo works is if you get a Possibility Storm down and you cast one of these sorcery spells, Possibility Storm does not see adventure sorceries as sorceries, it sees them as creatures. So the only sorcery other than those in the deck is Enter the Infinite, which allows you to draw your entire deck and then put one single card on top of your deck. So the point here is you cast a sorcery in a Possibility Storm, cast Enter the Infinite, draw your entire deck, put Thassa's Oracle on top of your deck, and then play an Arboreal Grazer for 1 mana, which then Possibility Storm cascades into Thassa's Oracle, which then wins you the game. So the earliest this combo can go off is actually turn 4 if you have a Vessel of Volatility and your opponent doesn't have any permission spells, because you can crack it on turn 3 to put the Possibility Storm down, and then turn 4 you can cast Rosethorn Acolyte or whatever your sorcery is into your Arboreal Grazer. The good thing about this deck is that you can run as many instants as you want in it, which allows us to ramp with things like Growth Spiral and have board wipes like Flame Sweep. Fae of Wishes also allows us to not only get Possibility Storm from the sideboard, but also Arc Bond, which is a card I'm sort of theory crafting. The idea behind it is Flame Sweep only deals 2 damage to everything at instant speed. Arc Bond, if you're playing against a deck like the Enchantment All That Glitters Beatdown deck, will actually clean up a larger board because you can chump block with something like a Lovestruck Beast token or an Arboreal Grazer or a Fae of Wishes, and then deal that damage back to all of your opponent's creatures, which ideally wipes the board if you blocked the correct creature. If there's any true weak points to the deck, I would say it's probably mana base. The land base is 25 lands, because you pretty much always want to hit your land drop no matter what, and because of Arboreal Grazer and Growth Spiral, it's never bad to have extra lands in your hand. You can also discard them to Thirst for Meaning, so it's not the worst case scenario. And the second weakness I would say of this deck is the sideboard. There's some Silver Bullet cards in here that you can grab with Fae of Wishes, but I think this could be optimized a little bit more. Damping Sphere is a little bit of a non-bow with the Possibility Storm on the board because it actually makes us pay for each trigger, but it also makes our opponent pay for each trigger, and it's probably the best card in Pioneer right now for hosing Lotus Field, which might be worth it, I think. So Borborygmos is an alternative to Thassa's Oracle because there's a lot of fun people in Pioneer that run things like Unmoored Ego and Name Your Thassa's Oracle. This video is actually promoted by TCG Player, so if you like what you see, there's going to be a link in the description. You can go to TCG Player with that link, type in promo code Gullible, that is GULLIBLE, and get 10% off all of the cards in this deck. So thanks to them, shout out to them for sponsoring the video. I'd say best case scenario, this deck does its job and gets Wizards to ban Thassa's Oracle. Worst case scenario, we lose to the other card that Wizards should probably ban in Walking Ballista. Anyways, let's get to the games. Thoughtseize, that's fun. Waste Not. Is Waste Not Storm a thing in Pioneer? I haven't run into it yet. I guess we'll find out. Well, regardless of if Waste Not Storm is good or not, a lot of discard is very bad for us. Just like 8 Rack, this is kind of the enemy to all combo decks. I just learned about reverse psychology, so whatever you do, don't smash the motherfucking like button. And also, please don't hit subscribe or that bell icon. Lord knows the I Hate Card Games bell icon is the most useless button on the internet. Yeah, this is fine. If I'm doing my math correctly, this Flame Sweep should kill this Burglar Rat, and then deal 2 damage to each Pack Rat, which then, once this dies, will lower the health down to 2 and kill everything. Or, alternatively, I could just Possibility Storm and win. Yeah, I think I'm going to Possibility Storm and win instead. We cast Heart's Desire, that hits our Enter the Infinite, which draws us our entire deck, which allows us to also get more lands to play. Thassa's Oracle goes on top, Stomping Ground, sure, Pay the Life, Boreal Grazer, and there we have it. That's a turn 4 combo through a lot of discard. Decks like this that have so much disruption where you probably want to bring in Borborygmos just as like a backup plan. This hand is really nice. Because I brought in Borborygmos, I'm going to say that this Thassa's Oracle can just be Thoughtseize bait, because the rest of this hand is fantastic. All according to Keikaku. Translator's note, Keikaku means plan. A little Japanese lesson for you. He takes the Growth Spiral instead, which is a little annoying, but ultimately fine. Vessel of Volatility kind of gets the job done. Lost Legacy. That's fine. This actually doesn't fuck us over if he names Possibility Storm, so I'm going to let him do that. He might name Enter the Infinite, which would be the better choice. Even then, oh, he names Thassa's Oracle. That's probably the worst thing he could have chosen. Unless he has like a second Lost Legacy, that was definitely not what he wanted to choose. The fuck is this thing? It deals combat damage. Each player discards a card. So we do need a land. It's about the worst draw in the deck. It's okay. I probably would have lost this. I think we're a little bit too far behind anyways. Well, this isn't what we like to see. Living Needle? What is that supposed to do? Vessel of Volatility. Oh, he got me. I'm not going to let him know that he got me. Use this as discard fodder and pretend like he just whiffed. Pack Rat. Sure. Second Pack Rat. Absolutely. Let's burn him up. Land? Not quite. A little bit frustrating. As long as my deck of 25 lands can produce a land for me in the next couple turns, we should be in pretty decent shape. Seems like he's pretty flooded out. Rose Thorn Acolyte. I'm feeling like this is going to be better as a blocker and also a thing that gives me mana. You really got me with that Vessel call. Yeah, unfortunately, just couldn't find the lands in time off the mulligan to 5. Probably keep this. I'm probably going to end up paying for it because of Thoughtseize, but we'll see. I feel like they would take Possibility Storm over Thassa's Oracle though, which is fine. Green-white could indicate a number of things. Hey, no whammies. Bant, so I'm assuming Bant Spirits. Oh, what is this? Omen Speaker. Is this some other janky combo deck that I'm unaware of? Second Omen Speaker, sure. Not really a land, but I guess it gets the job done. Hefnet? I have to say, it's a little bit annoying that this is the most lands I've run in a deck in like forever, and I'm just missing all of my land drops. But I can't let it get to me because I stress too much. Doctor said that that is a problem for me and that I need to calm down. He put me on a strict diet. I can only eat the white part of Rocket Pops. That's really annoying. That's really, really, really annoying, actually. That he hit Fumigate off of Traverse the Elven World. Cool. Really cool. Really fun. You can cast Granted off of that Fae of Witches. I guess I'm going to cast this Growth Spiral and try and, I guess, cascade into another Growth Spiral. Get Thirst for Me, and that's even better, actually. Just need to find land, like really, really badly. I will pitch the second Possibility Storm in my hand. And then I will play Rootbound Crag, and then we'll see if we can cascade this Vessel of Volatility into another Vessel of Volatility. The most likely scenario, and we do. We should be able to win next turn. Do not care about a Filigree Familiar. Alright, and he is fully tapped out, so that is a victory for us. So we cast Granted, Thassa's Oracle back on top, Arboreal Grazer, and that's the game. Still not exactly sure what his deck is meant to do. Just seemed like draw cards, kind of, scry, do general blue things. So if I draw a land, I will play Growth Spiral, I think. If I don't draw a land, I will play Vessel. This is sort of a problem, I guess. Pass the turn. So the way that I'm going to deal with this Rivulet, because it throws a little bit of a wrench in our plans if he mills the Thassa's Oracle, but I can actually Granted on this Fae of Wishes or a Pithing Needle, and Pithing Needle the Rivulet. Been really interested in people's last words recently. I found out that Einstein's last words were in German, and he said them to a nurse that didn't speak German and didn't have a pen and paper, so we don't know what they were. So, like, way to go, Einstein. What's sad is if I actually played this Vessel of Volatility last turn instead of worrying about the Rivulet, he would have just tapped out like a moron. The Growth Spiral. Then we Pithing Needle on Ipnu Rivulet, and then we Vessel of Volatility and pass the turn. I think what we do here is if he draws up to 7, we block the Kefnet, return the Fae of Wishes to our hand at instant speed, discarding Temple and Disdainful Stroke. And this next turn we can go get our Possibility Storm. I don't have enough blue mana. That's a tad bit problematic, actually. Don't know if we're going to be fast enough. Flame Sweep wouldn't really help here either, unfortunately. I think I'm dead because of the Ballista. Yeah, that's bad. This seems fine because of the Thirst for Meanings. I like that. I like that a lot. Walking Ballista for 1 does nothing. Okay, cool. So we just get to cast Possibility Storm. Ipnu Rivulet is fine right now because he doesn't have any blue mana with which to activate its ability. Put target spell or permanent. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. One nice thing, why does he have Haze of Pollen in his deck? One nice thing about Possibility Storm is that it acts as like its own counter magic because they can't really like cast stuff into it and get what they want all the time. Sometimes they do, but very rarely does it work out like that. You hit a Thirst for Meaning. There's our Fae of Wishes, so we'll discard Growth Spiral, Aether Hub, and that should do it. Alright, so Fae of Wishes, granted, enter the Infinite, Boreal Grazer, and there we have it. So we're back with the deck. I think it got a pretty decent opportunity to show off some of its stuff. As I mentioned, there's obviously like a few weak points, namely things like the sideboard. The mana base, honestly, I think is better than it's been, but for some reason we are having a lot of trouble with it, at least as far as just getting our land drops, which is a little bit annoying. A couple things I would consider, maybe just going for like 2 elixirs instead of a Cranial Archive, or maybe just cutting it down to 1 even. I feel like this play of like discard, enter the Infinite, shuffle it back into your deck is like not super doable most of the time, or like rather if you're doing it you're probably also losing. So just don't draw enter the Infinite. I could even put in like a fun little artifact package, like you could have you know, like some main, like a main deck like Tormod's Crypt, and then I don't know what's a big artifact creature in Pioneer, like Metalwork Colossus. I don't know. So you do something like that where like you cast the Tormod's Crypt and get a Metalwork Colossus. That's kind of fun. But overall, I would say I think this deck has a lot of power and potential as long as Thassa's Oracle remains legal. So in other words, this is a threat to Wizards of the Coast. Please get rid of this card. And while you're at it, go ahead and get rid of Walking Ballista. Both cards are just degenerate. They're never used in the way that they're supposed to be used. It's never like, oh man, my devotion is so high that it's equal to my library and I win. It's never used like that. It's just milling yourself out and using it. Walking Ballista is never cast for 2, except for the last guy that I played for some reason. That guy just had Walking Ballista in his deck with no apparent combo. Maybe he was running Heliod and he just never drew it. Thassa's Oracle, we're gone. it would solve a lot of the issues in Pioneer. Until that day comes, I'm going to be playing this degenerate possibility storm deck that can combo Alpha on turn 4 and turn 5 pretty consistently, as in a format that isn't supposed to even be a combo format. What the fuck is my outro again? So anyways, thanks for watching. I hate card games.